Hey, we are live. How are you today? It's Helen here from helenmartinonline.com. Hope you've had a brilliant weekend, whatever you have been up to. What I want to talk to you about today is if there's any of you out there that experience self-doubt, then you may want to follow along with me with this Facebook Live, and in the coming weeks I'm going to delve into this a little bit deeper. So self-doubt is a killer of things that we want, dreams that we have, being that person that you want to be. If you have self-doubt, then that often holds us back from really what we want to achieve. So I really want to delve into this issue of self-doubt because there's sort of 5 critical areas of self-doubt that lead to habits that you may not even really realize that you're doing or truly understand. But unless you do, and unless you change them, you're always going to be holding you back, from what it is you really want to achieve. So why am I talking about this today? For those of you that have not been on a live with me before, it's Helen from helenmartinonline.com, and I do teach home-based business owners how to build their business online. But once a week, which happens to be today, I talk about something to do with, self-development, self-belief, mindset, those kind of things. Because as much research as I've done and experience that I've had in business and coaching clients that I have, it really is 80% down to what you think, what you believe, your confidence in yourself, or things like self-doubt that are going to make or break your success or your failure. So if you are here with me live, comment down below and say hello. If you're catching the replay at a later stage, just drop the word replay down below so I can go and say hello and connect with you afterwards. So if you experience self-doubt in any way, that might be you as an individual in things that you want to achieve. It might be in your business. You're holding yourself back from what you know you should be doing. Maybe it's a complete career change, but you're doubtful that you can do it. Maybe you've got a vision for this business on the side, but you really don't know how to go about it. And all this self-doubt creeps in. And there's things that you want to achieve, but you just don't know, how to get there or how to go about it. What happens as we go along is we develop bad habits, and you don't even know that you're doing it. So we develop these bad habits in these critical areas, which I'm going to get into in a moment. And those bad habits actually stop us from actually achieving what it is we want to achieve. So if you experience any one of these 5 things that I'm going to mention, now, then I want you to take note of this. And it's impossible for me to go sort of in depth with all of this in one Facebook Live. So these 5 issues that I'm going to bring up now, if they resonate with you at all, if you can connect with anything that I'm saying, then stick around in future weeks. Remember, I only do this once a week on mindset, and I will go back to business for the remainder of the week. But tune in early in the week for the following weeks to really listen to how to overcome these 5 traps. So if you experience any of these 5 traps, they actually create bad habits, and these bad habits will hold you back from where it is you want to go. So let me go through them. I've got notes here today because it's a lot to remember, and I don't want to forget all the important bits to tell you. So number 1, do you hesitate at all with anything? So if you find yourself hesitating in any way, that really comes to light when you know what you need to do. Sometimes you don't know what you need to do, but you know what you need to do, but you're not doing it. Now, this could manifest itself in any area of your life. It could be as simple as, exercise or diet, or things that you want to do, in your social life, or things that, there's things that you want to do, but you're just not doing it. So you're hesitating doing things. This also, it really is, hesitation can be triggered, by fear, the fear of unknown, the fear of doing it, the fear of failure. It can present itself in that way. And it really is triggered by uncertainty. You're not sure what the outcome's going to be. You're not sure what somebody's going to say. You're not sure where you need to go do, you know, the actions that you need to take. So it's a whole lot of uncertainty. When you're surrounded by uncertainty, we have the, well, the result of that really is hesitating. So hesitating is one of the traps that you will develop bad habits with self-doubt related activities. So hesitation is number one. Number two is hiding. Do you retreat in any kind of way? Do you hide away from saying things? Hi Arlene, how are you? Lovely to see you online. On live, I should say. Do you hide away from doing things? Do you hide away from saying things that you want to say through fear of rejection, fear of upsetting somebody, fear of getting an answer that you don't think you want to hear? Do you shy away from taking action, or, you know, like I said before, saying things that you want to say? You're in a situation, you don't like it, but you don't stick up for yourself and say what you need to say. Or you know what action you need to take, but you sort of shy away and hide away from taking that action. That is another critical element where self-doubt just grows and grows in a really negative way, and you develop bad habits that you end up not taking the action that you want to take, not following through with the things that you need to follow through with, really overthinking things. And when you overthink things, you end up wasting a hell of a lot of time thinking and not a hell of a lot of time doing. So hiding away, shying away, not thinking that you're worthy, avoiding things. Are there things that you are avoiding? That's what we sort of mean by hiding. So this is one of, the other, real traps to where self-doubt can develop itself. So number one was hesitating. Do you hesitate with anything in your life? Drop me a number one down below if you hesitate. Do you hesitate doing things you know you need to do? Drop me a 2 below if there's things that you know you should say and you're not. There's action that you should be taking that you're not, that you're shying away and hiding away from things that you know you need to do. So that's another trap. So we've got 5 traps to go through. What's number 3? Number 3 is when you're really hypercritical of yourself. Now, where this comes, sorry, there's an alert there I just needed to get rid of. Where this comes into play is past experience plays a part here. So maybe you didn't finish school. Maybe you never went to college or university or, had a higher education. So maybe you've ingrained in your own brain that you're not quite smart enough. Or maybe you haven't had a lot of success in the past, so you're measuring that on what you can achieve in the future. So you've got things rolling around in your head going, well, I'm not successful at this yet, so I'm not sure that I can be. Or I was never really successful in the past, like I haven't really done any higher studies, so I'm not sure that I can do this. So what's the story that you're telling yourself? So this is where when you're hypercritical of yourself, self-doubt creeps in everywhere. And that, again, will develop really bad habits with self-doubt that'll hold you back, make you second-guess yourself, and you're not going to be able to break through and have the belief and take the actions that you need to take to really be successful. So, somebody who's hypercritical could be fixated on what's going to go wrong. So, how we really should be is it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen for me. I just know it. I live it. I breathe it. You have a mantra every morning. You meditate every morning, and you just have belief that whatever it is that you're striving for is going to happen. When we're hypercritical, that's not our thought process. We go, well, I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure if I can talk to the people that I need to talk to about my business to make it grow. I'm not sure if I've got what it takes. This is where hypercritical comes in, and self-doubt just manifests us in so many different ways that once again, will hold you back from what it is that you're wanting to achieve. So these five things that I'm listing here, each one of them in their own right is really detrimental when you hang on to them. Now, the thing here is you may be hanging on to them, but you're not really aware that you're hanging on to them. Hey, Arlene, great stuff, Helen. I need to hear this today. Awesome. So you may be hanging on to these things, and this is the way you're living your life, but you're not actually conscious of that. You're not aware of that. That's just your normal. You just doubt yourself. You're just hypercritical of yourself, and that's just the way life is. You just don't take the action because you're telling yourself you're not good enough, or you've not really been that successful in the past, so why would this be any different? When that is where your subconscious comes from, it's really hard for you to succeed in whatever it is that you're trying to succeed in. And I'm not just talking business here, I'm talking life. I'm talking relationships. I'm talking your health. I'm talking your finances. So what I want to work through in the sort of coming weeks is each one of these five in detail, because some of them may resonate with you and some of them may not. But it's really important to sort of delve deep as to why are you being hypocritical of yourself? Why do you doubt yourself? And, awareness is one thing, but breaking through it is, where the real results happen. It's where, when you can break through these things and break through self-doubt, that's when you can really start to shine and, just take the action that you need to take because you just believe that it's worthwhile and it's going to happen and you've got huge self-belief. So let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is helplessness. Now, this may come to play for you when your emotions are just so strong that you can't see rhyme or reason to things. So this also may be triggered by events that have happened in, the past. Arlene, this is because of previous experiences. She's on it right at the same time that I'm explaining it. Awesome, Arlene, you get it. Fear comes from experiences from the past. Loss comes from experiences in the past. Things that have happened that are buried in your subconscious, really play a part here. And when we don't understand that, and that's just our normal, it's always going to hold you back. So this is why working on these kind of things are really critically important, because you want to break through them. And you want to break through them to make a difference in your life, to let go of self-doubt, to let go of lack of self-belief, push through these issues that have been holding you back and really step into your greatness. Everybody is born with greatness. Everybody is born with a blank canvas. Nobody is born, with greatness. We become great. We overcome our fears. We learn how to deal with our past experiences. You don't forget them, but you can learn to let them go, to let yourself shine. So it's really important that you understand the feeling of helplessness, that emotion that comes over you that you may not understand. It's just the way I am. It's just me. People that tell themselves that story will never push through self-doubt and get to where you want to go. So we need to understand, why do you feel helpless? What has happened in the past to make you feel that way? How do we overcome it to create new habits? Because that creates really bad habits. When you say things like, that's just me, that's just the way I am, when you accept that, and that's coming from a place of bad habits, game over. You don't want to be there. You don't want to stay there. You want to learn to understand why you do those things, and then, just respect them and appreciate them for what it is, but you don't need to stay there. Nobody needs to stay there. There are ways to push through that to, achieve the things that you want to achieve. So if you feel helpless in any way, that's one of these 5 traps where self-doubt manifests itself. The last one is anxiety. Now, anxiety stems really from worrying. If you worry too much. So you worry about what other people think. You worry about whether you can do it or not. You worry about what you've done in the past. You worry about what you should do today. And you're worrying about what you should do in the future. The problem with worrying is worrying builds into anxiety. And when you've got strong anxiety, that leads to panic. So strong anxiety manifests itself physically in your body. You can have the shakes. You can have, it could lead to a panic attack quite easily. If your worry turns into really bad anxiety, which turns into panic, then suddenly you're having panic attacks. So anxiety is definitely one of these 5 triggers that leads into self-doubt, because you're just worrying about this and worrying about that rather than accepting what is, dealing with what is, and moving forward with ways that I will talk about in following weeks. Where people get stuck in life, and people go through a lifetime of this, is they worry too much. They're worried too much about what other people think, so it stops them from taking action and doing things and moving forward. Worrying about, finances. I don't have enough money to do that, or I can't do that. Can't comes up way too often. You should try and get rid of the word. Actually, I don't like the word try. Try often means people won't do it. Like, I'll try to do this, or I'll try to do that, or I'll try to get there, or I'll try to take that action, or I'll try to contact people, or I'll try to feel better. So you don't want to try, you just want to do, and you don't want to embed can't in your vocab. You want to start to embrace I can. So it's not I can't, it's like, okay, that is a bit of a challenge for me. I accept that challenge, but what can I do about it? It's not I can't do that. That's too hard. Or I can't because that person might think this about me. If you get stuck in can't, you can't do something because of whatever, and you've got all these self-doubt habits running through your mind out of any one of these 5 areas, let me repeat them. If you hesitate in any way, if you're hiding, retreating, not saying what you want to say, not taking the action that you need to take, if you're hypercritical of yourself, saying, well, I haven't been successful in the past, why would I be successful in the future? Or if you're striving for perfectionism. Perfectionism is a way where hypercritical, manifests itself, because nothing is ever good enough. You want to be perfect. And you know why you want to be perfect? When you're striving for perfectionism is because you don't want anybody to say anything bad about you. You don't want to hear anything negative. You're caring too much about what other people think rather than just doing what you need to do and letting the whatever comes bounce off you. It is what is. Who cares? Move on. We bury ourselves in all these different ways of self-doubt, and it does us no good whatsoever. So it was hesitating, hiding, hypercritical, helplessness. Now, this is one where we physically can manifest, helplessness, and when the emotions are so strong that it overcomes and self-doubt just builds. And anxiety is another one where your body can actually physically manifest panic, and then you develop really bad habits on an ongoing basis. If you're a worrier, and I'm a worrier, and I've done a lot of work on this, particularly in the last couple of years, and I'm getting better. But it doesn't mean when you work through these things that suddenly you're fixed. This is a lifelong journey, but you've got to start somewhere, and you need to start now. So awareness is one thing. So if you're suffering of one of those 5 things that I mentioned before, please hang around with me in future weeks when I delve into each one of those 5 things and, really sort of dissect why, but more importantly, give you sort of strategies that you can embrace to overcome them. Martin, valuable stuff, Helen. I really appreciate it. Well, I really do appreciate your comment, Martin, and giving me your feedback, because this is really, really important. And any of you that have been on Facebook Lives with me before, I am very passionate about this kind of stuff, because with all the coaching that I do with people around the world, and even with myself, I know my journey, and when I fail and when I succeed, when I'm doing well and when I'm not, it's mainly due to what's going on up here. And we don't always have the ability to know how to move through that ourselves. So I listen and learn from my gurus to teach me how to move through this stuff. And my passion is to share this with other people so I can help you move through self-doubt. I can help you believe yourself, more. And those of you that are building a home-based business and that you listen to my lives for the remainder of the week about, business training and giving you training in that area, then, this is the critical component. 80% of your success is going to come from here. I can teach you the skills, but I can't teach you how to think. I can't make you believe in yourself. I can teach you a skill over and over and over and over again. I can teach you how to brand yourself online. I can teach you what page to set up. I can teach you how to set it up properly. I can teach you how to brand yourself in the right way. I can, teach you about content to put on the page. I can teach you skills, but I can't make you believe in yourself. That is something that you have to work on yourself, but you need to work on it constantly. You can't listen to one Facebook Live of me where I talk about this and go, yep, that makes sense, and never think about it again. This stuff takes time. But if you truly want to be successful in all areas of your life, I'm not just talking about business here. I'm talking about your love life, relationships, not only with your loved ones and your children's, your friends. Do you have really deep, meaningful friendships in your life that, mean the world to you? I'm talking about your health. When you look in the mirror in the morning, what do you see? What do you feel? Do you look in the mirror in the morning and go, I love you, you're awesome, we're going to have a fantastic day today? Or I accept you just the way you are? Or do you look in the mirror and go, I don't like the way I look? Those kind of things, that's self-doubt. So, physically, how do you see yourself? How do you feel about yourself emotionally? Also with your finances. If you've got self-doubt around your finances and you think about that over and over again and you worry about that and that worry turns into anxiety, it's going to be really hard for you to make any kind of shift in your finances. So it's really important to break through those kind of financial challenges that you might have had with your past, letting them go and know that anything is possible. Anything in your life is possible, but it all comes down to the way you think. All of it, what you believe, what you think, all of it comes down to the way you think, whether that's positive, whether that's negative, whether that's coming from a place of self-doubt, or whether it's coming from a place of, I really can. Most people don't sit in that space. I don't always sit in that space. It takes work. It takes a lot of work. But I'm passionate to help people break through this stuff so you can get the results that you want to get in whatever area in your life that is, because you deserve it. We are born with the ability to be great, but not many people get there because they have this issue of self-doubt, lack of self-belief. What are people going to say? I don't believe I can do it. I haven't done it in the past, so why would I be able to do it in the future? All that stuff, when you hang on to that, you'll never reach your dreams, you'll never reach your goals, and that's just really, really, really sad. So, hey Charlie, how are you? So, let's break through all of that stuff. But, as I said before, it's not going to be quick. Is this making sense to anybody that's with me? If it is, can you send me some likes and loves? I hope you're with me, you're understanding me, you understand my passion for sharing this with you and really wanting to help you break through these self-doubt, issues and lack of self-belief so you can really move on, move past it and get where you want to go. Okay? So Arlene, oh yes, great. Thank you, for that. So what I want to move through in the following weeks, and as I said earlier in my Facebook Live, I only talk about this stuff once a week. But those 5 key steps that, those 5 key things that I just mentioned, I want to work through each one of those over the coming weeks to help you dissect it, pull it apart, and give you strategies to help you work through them so you can actually start, building bridges, mending wounds, and changing, most importantly, creating new habits. We're run by our habits and we don't even know it. We think bad habits. We physically have bad habits that we're not even aware that we do. It's in our subconscious because whatever's happened in our past, and we just sit in this space. So it's time to get out of that space. It's time to, work through these issues so we can really move forward. So I hope that's helpful to you. If you found that valuable, if you found that helpful, please let me know in the comment below. Just put the word yes down below if you found that helpful. If you have people that you work with, if you are in the home-based business space and you've got team members that you think this would be valuable for, please share it out with them or tag them into it, because this really is 80% of the success formula in your life, not only your business, but in life. So, back to business tomorrow. What I'm talking about tomorrow, last week, the business topics that I talked about is I talked a lot about branding. How you brand yourself, how you set up yourself properly, on Facebook with branding the right sort of Facebook page. And then I talked about, how you actually, the banner in the top, sort of what words do you put, and how do you position yourself in your branding? That is so, so, so important. That is the key to, branding yourself online, whether it's successful or not. Now, the last sort of element that I wanted to talk to about that is content creation. So we've talked about the page, you've got yourself up there, you've got your name in lights. We've talked about, how you actually position yourself, which is critical, absolutely critical. Now you're there and then you're like, okay, what do I continually put on this page? I'm lost. I need content creation ideas, so that's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. So if you are in a home-based business space and that's something that is important to you with branding yourself online, jump on tomorrow and I'll get into that content creation for branding yourself online. So thank you very much to those of you that were listening to me live, or even any of you that are on the replay, and any comments that you've put down below. I really do appreciate you listening, and I hope you found that helpful. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.